Oddleif, of course, from France with a superb new album Where Ideal and Denial Collide. Hello to Karina if you're listening tonight. I know last time that we played Oddleif, she was in our chat room, which was fantastic. You can find out more about Oddleif at their website, oddleif.net, and of course you can find the Bandcamp as well. And we just played you a track called Ethereal Melodies. Absolutely superb stuff. This is the Prog Mill from Progzilla Radio. Somebody asked me the other day, are you doing the Prog Mill Listeners Album of the Year for 2024? The answer is a resounding yes, and voting will open on the 1st of December. I'll tell you more about that when I'm back off me jollies in a couple of weeks' time. But start to have a think. Yes, we're doing it again this year.
And now, it's time for our fun quickfire progressive rock quiz, as we ask, how proggy are you?
And so welcome to our fun quickfire quiz. It almost, though, this week seems a bit disrespectful to call it a fun quiz, because it is a special. It is Remembrance Day if you're listening to the initial broadcast on Sunday, at least in the UK. And so we thought this week we'll do something a little bit different. And thank you so much to my very good friend Leo from Funky Totness, who's come up with a World War I themed edition of How Proggy Are You? Leo is going to be asking you 5 questions about World War I themed prog tracks and bands. Are you ready? Here comes Mr. Trimming with a special edition of How Proggy Are You?
Hi, it's Leo Trimming here from The Progressive Aspect. In the UK today, it's Remembrance Sunday, and we remember the fallen in the world wars and wars since. So this is going to be a rather different How Proggy Are You quiz. It's also just to remind you that next week there will be a special called Lilies of the Dead Revisited, which I'll talk about later.
In my little Armstrong hut on the aerodrome, I saw quite a number of people. One of them sticks in my memory very, very clearly was Albert Ward.
So here are the questions. Get ready. Number 1. Which Big Train song is about the British World War I flying ace pilot Albert Ball? Second question, IQ's song Common Ground was about which devastating World War I battle? Next question, which 1980s prog band released a World War I themed album at 11 AM on the 11th of November 2018, exactly 100 years after the end of World War I? It's a bundle of laughs, this quiz, isn't it? Not. It's inappropriate today. Question. Which band has released a series of albums and EPs since 2012 based on World War I and subsequent wars?
Leaping hedges, rusting broken wire, through a maze of desperate trenches. All around the world explodes as the barrage gains momentum.
And the final question. Crucifix Corner by Fish, on his album A Feast of Consequences, is about which notable event in the Battle of the Somme in 1916, an event which was also portrayed in the book and movie War Horse. Good luck, and remember, if you listen to this live on Sunday, don't put your answers in the chat room. And please try and avoid using Google. Answers later.
Thank you, Leo. Answers after the next couple of tracks.
And so, at 10 o'clock on the 3rd Sunday of the month, there will be President Trump and we will play all its forms and, of course, jazz. So if you like your prog tempered with a little jazz, why not tune into the High Priest of Prog himself, John Simmons, every 3rd Sunday of the month at 6 p.m. UK time here on Progzilla.com.
Thank you, guys. That is next week right here on the Zilla.
Around the world on your internet radio, smartphone, tablet, computer and smart speakers. This is the Prog Mill.
We're going to play a couple of great suggestions by our good friend Mike Alexandrovich, who is coming up with some brilliant suggestions lately, as he always has, of course, and it's good to have him back on board with the show. In a few minutes' time, something from the Italian band Raven Sad. Now, we have played them before here on the Prog Mill, but probably not for quite some time. They've just released their 5th album, which is called Polar Human Circle. This is their first album in 3 years. The last one was 2021's The Leaf and the Wing, which you can find on Bandcamp, as you can this brand new album as well. Mike's suggestion is a track called The Obsidian Mirror, which we're going to play for you. That's a very proggy title, isn't it? That's coming up in just a few seconds' time. First of all, then we're off to the Netherlands, and Mike's first suggestion comes from the band My Arrival, Dutch progressive rock band. Just released their new album. It's called Lost Embers. Well, actually, it's due for release on the 29th of November, so it's not out yet. This is the follow-up to 2020's album, Saturn, 9 and Indigo. You can find that, and you'll be able to find the new album on Bandcamp as well. Thank you, Mike. So starting off with the Dutch band My Arrival from the brand new album Lost Embers, and this is a great track. It's called Starfall on the Prog Mill, Progzilla Radio. fantastic couple of suggestions by Mike. Thank you so much, sir. That was the Italian band Raven Sads, and a track taken from their brand new album, which is out now, I believe. It's called Polar Human Circle. You can find it on Bandcamp. It's their 5th album, and that track was called The Obsidian Mirror. That was the follow-up to the 2021 album The Leaf and the Wing, which we did play a couple of tracks from at the time and since as well. And Mike's first suggestion took us off to the Netherlands, and something from the band My Arrival. I love the vocal delivery of that. It reminded me a little bit of Ray Wilson in style. Lovely gruff singing style. I really enjoyed that. The new album from My Arrival is called Lost Embers, and the E in Embers, the first E in Embers, has been replaced by the number 3, so it's Lost 3 Embers. But it's Embers. Yeah, you get the drift, don't you, really? That's due for release on the 29th of November, the follow-up to 2020's album Saturn 9 and Indigo. You can find that, and also a few taster tracks for the brand new album Lost Embers on Bandcamp. We played you a track called Starfall. Thank you, Mike, very much indeed, and more from Mike coming up on the next normal edition of the Prog Mill in a couple of weeks' time. So before those couple of tracks, we had Leo here with a very special edition of How Proggy Are You, asking you questions about World War I themed progressive rock and prog bands. How did you do? Answers coming up right now on the Prog Mill.
And now here's the answers to our fun quick fire quiz, as we asked, how proggy are you?
This is the Prog Mill.
Over the top, we go!
Hi, it's Leo here, and here we go with the answers to the special Remembrance Sunday How Proggy Are You quiz. First question was, which Big Big Train song is about the British World War I flying ace Albert Ball? That was, of course, Brave Captain from Grimsbound in 2017. The sadly departed David Longdon wrote that song from his memories of running around the gardens of Nottinghamshire Castle, where there's a statue of Albert Ball. Albert Ball was an ace that shot down at least 43 German aircraft and many barrage balloons, and sadly, only 20 years old, he was killed in action on the 7th of May 2017. Second question was, IQ's song Common Ground was about which devastating World War I battle? It was, of course, the Somme, which is now infamously known as the bloodiest day in British military history on the 1st of July 1916. There were 57,000 casualties, in which nearly 20,000 British soldiers died. What a disaster. And that song came from Nom's Armour in 1987. Common Ground is one of 3 new songs added to this revisited version of Lilies of the Dead, but more of that later. Third question was, which 1980s prog band released a World War I themed album at 11 o'clock on 11th of November 2018, which was exactly 100 years after the end of World War I. It was, of course, 12th Night with their fantastic album Sequences. Now that, strangely, was their first new studio album since their Virgin X11 or 12 album in 1986. Incredible amount of time. Interestingly, Sequences started out as an instrumental piece right back near the beginnings of the band, and then when Jeff Mann joined them in the early 80s, he wrote some lyrics to fit the music almost perfectly. It's a remarkable vision he showed in marrying the lyrics with the music. However, when he was with the band, they never actually recorded a studio version of Sequences, but there's a brilliant live version on the Live and Let Live album. Well, they decided to finally do that in 2018, largely under the auspices of Mark Spencer, and together they reimagined and recorded an expanded version of Sequences, and it's absolutely brilliant and can be heard on the Lilies of the Dead Revisited. The fourth question was, which band has released a series of albums and EPs since 2012 based on World War I and subsequent wars? It is, of course, Freedom to Glide, who made their live debut in July 2024 at Prog for Piet. And the final question to How Proggy Are You, quite a history question, but there you go, is is the song Crucifix Corner by Fish on his 2013 album A Feast of Consequences is about which notable event, the Battle of the Somme in 1916. And that was an event which was also portrayed in the book or movie War Horse, and there was a bit of a clue in the musical clip played. Well, unbelievably, it was actually a cavalry charge, and it was the only cavalry charge in the Battle of the Somme, and one of the last ever cavalry charges by the British Army. The last ever recorded cavalry charge by the British Army was in 1942 in Burma, when a troop of British and Indian soldiers charged the Japanese army, and absolutely no one survived, because that's what happens when horses go up against machine guns. Dreadful. Well, the thing about this quiz that all the songs that are featured in this quiz also feature in the TPA Progmill special Lilies of the Dead Revisited. Now, just to tell you, this is not exactly the same as the version that we broadcast in 2019. It's been revamped, and 3 new songs and dialogue has been added to the special to sort of give it a new twist. So I hope you'll join me next Sunday, the 17th of November, when we remember the fallen again in Lilies of the Dead Revisited. So how many did you all get? I'll be impressed if anyone gets 5 out of 5. See you in the chat room.
Thank you, sir, very much indeed. Leo is back in 12 minutes' time right after this.
Here's another amazing discovery from the Prog Finder General, right here on Prog Mill.
And this week, the Prog Finder General, Anthony Dawes up in County Durham, takes us off to Istanbul. Now, I don't think I've ever played a band from Istanbul before. I can't remember ever playing a band from there. The band is called Nemrut. They're actually named after a mountain in southeast Turkey called Mount Nemrut, but they're called Nemrut. Formed back in 2008, released a couple of concept albums initially, Journey of the Shaman in 2010 and one called Ritual in 2013, both of those via Musea Records. But Anne suggests a track from their 3rd studio album, and it was a self-titled album called Nemrut, released back in 2016. And this is called Lion of Comagene on the Prog Mill from Progzilla Radio. Thank you, Ant. fantastic suggestion by Ant, the Prog Finder General. How do you keep doing this, Ant? I've no idea, but thank you so much. Back to 2016, and something from the Turkish band Nemrud, from their album, self-titled Nemrud, their third album, and that track was called Lion of Comagene. Thank you very much indeed, PFG Ant, and hope you're a lot better by now. And another PFG suggestion coming up on the next normal edition of the Prog Mill in a couple of weeks' time. Why is it not normal next week? Well, next week we're going to be doing Lilies of the Dead Revisited, featuring Mr. Leo Trimming, a remastered and, a redone version of the wonderful program, Lilies of the Dead, that Leo did for us a few years ago. Absolutely fantastic. Do not miss that, whatever you do. And Leo will be along in about half an hour's time with a taster for that. But actually, he's back right now as well. He's here, there, and everywhere this week. This week's TPA album review. This week, taking a listen to 365, the brand new album from Adult Cinema. That's next on the Prog Mill from Progzilla Radio.
If you're a musician or a band producing melodic or symphonic progressive rock, get your music on the air right here at the Prog Mill. Email Sean at progzilla.com. That's SHAUN at progzilla.com. And let us spread the word about your music.
Hi, this is Leo Trimming from The Progressive Aspect. You can hear our review summaries and song choice on the Prog Mill with the esteemed Sean Garrity on Progzilla Radio.
Don't give me your problems!
It's like going to sleep for a while, nothing else. Will I remember? Like you remember a dream, mostly. Now shut your eyes and listen to the gramophone. You hear the stylus cutting into the wax? Concentrate on that sound and nothing else.